I know that none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities are still 100% visible to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. Hey y'all, let me put you on to something real quick. I've got something you need to check out. You ever heard of the BLK app? That's BLK, not black, the BLK app. If not, you're missing out. So, check it. BLK is the largest dating and lifestyle app made specifically for the black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, no. BLK switched things up. Sure, you can find your boo, that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking to just make friends, network, group chat with folks based on shared interests, or find out about events happening near you, BLK's got all that too. The app's been around for almost 7 years now, and over 11 million people have downloaded it. Crazy! That's like the populations of New York City and LA combined. If you've downloaded the app before and deleted it, re-download it because they've introduced a bunch of new features. And it's new people to meet on there. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Yep, free. All right, I did my good deed for the day by putting you on. So go download BLK today in the App Store or on Google Play. It's free, it's fun, it's for us. Check it out and let me know what you think. Curious about how you can achieve smooth, natural-looking, long-lasting filler results? The Juvederm collection of fillers has 6 unique gel fillers that add subtle volume and are designed for different needs in specific areas of the face, like lips, cheeks, chin, smile lines, under eyes, and jawline. Ask your licensed specialist for a full face assessment today and download the Alle app. That's ALLE, the official loyalty program of Juvederm, to save on treatments and get a look that's true to you. For important safety information and to find licensed specialists, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, and those who identify as both, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable from PG County. I'm back home. I only did 3 days in New York. I think I told y'all I'm going to LA next week. I think I was supposed to come back from New York originally on Monday. I decided to cut my trip short and come back last night so I wouldn't get back to Maryland on Monday and have to repack and scramble on Tuesday and then fly out for LA on Wednesday. I just wanted a couple days to decompress. Like, travel be hectic. I be outside the whole time and I just can't rip and run right now like I usually do. But New York was good. I had a good time. I didn't get a chance to see most people. I just saw my cousin and one of my really close friends. I did make it to the Brooklyn Museum to see the Dean collection, Swizz and Alicia's art collection, part of their art collection that is on display exhibition at the Brooklyn Museum. They have a really expansive collection, as I expected. My question, though, and I thought the same thing when I went to see Spike Lee's exhibition. I'm like, where do y'all keep all this stuff? Do you have like a special warehouse where you keep all your art, or do you just keep it on loan for different museums around the country? They have a bunch of stuff, and they have a bunch of huge stuff. And I was just like, well, okay, like, it's dope. I'm not hating, and there's a lot of it. But, like, where do you keep it when it's not on, display at a museum? They got a big-ass house. I remember the Architectural Digest story about their house. There's art in the house that's not in the museum. It's not like you taking art off the walls. You're going to take this all back and put it up in your house. Like, no, you still have art in your house. Where do they keep it? I would try to DM Swizz and ask, but I think he's a little busy right now. He's one of those people that actually like talks back because he's talking back to people right now, and I'm kind of like, bruh, be quiet. Like, you got to know when you're fighting a war you can't win. So, Verzuz, you remember Verzuz, like pandemic Verzuz. They tried to keep it going post pandemic, but I don't know what happened. They partnered with, I can't remember the name of the company. There was like a big announcement about the partnership, and then Versus just sort of disappeared. Everyone was like, well, what happened? So it's reemerged now, and Swizz and Timberland, because they're business partners, announced they were partnering with Elon Musk and X to bring Versus back. And they announced it on Juneteenth from Cannes, because everyone and their mom is over at Cannes. And on Juneteenth, this blackety black ass holiday, they decided to announce that Verzuz was coming back, which yay. And then they partnered with Elon Musk and X to bring it back, which people are like, WTF, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. I mean, socially, it doesn't make sense. I'm sure financially it makes sense, and that's why they did it. So people have been criticizing their choice to partner with Elon Musk, like a known and raging racist. And Tesla's been sued multiple times. Sued and the parties won. And they had to pay out millions of dollars, like big millions. We talked about it on here. For shit like employees using the N word or like making monkey sounds at black employees, like crazy shit. For whatever reason, they partnered with Elon Musk, and people are criticizing it. Like, why would you partner with this known racist? So Swizz is in comment sections all over the internet responding to people. And he was like, watch for the bigger picture. Like, there's a bigger plan you'll see. And then emphasizing that with this partnership with X, that he and Timberland were able to maintain complete control of Versus. Was it Stitcher who they partnered with last time? I think Stitcher might have got some control over Versus. I'm not positive about that, but I do remember people complaining like, oh, Versus is not the same, like it changed. And the idea at least was, oh, you partnered with white people and now white people are like watering down the culture. It's not for the culture anymore, whatever. They're trying to mainstream Versus, things like that. So Swizz is all in comment sections like, we retain 100% control, 100% ownership. Like, isn't this what black people are always screaming about? And people are like, yeah, like we want you to have ownership, we want you to have control, and we want you to have your coins. Like, nobody's trying to stop you. Just why would you team up with the known racists to do so? To which Swizz is responding, hey, we've always been on Twitter. So what's the problem? To which people again point out, Twitter now is not Twitter then. You being on Twitter when it was still Twitter, and now you being on Twitter when it's X and owned by Elon Musk are two entirely different things, which Swizz seems not to make the correlation there. And I'm like, friend, you went ahead and made the deal that you thought was best for your company. People don't agree with it. Arguing with them on the internet, especially people in comment sections, bruh, you've been famous for a really long time. Stop. Your publicist needs to pull you aside and tell you to stop. Because the only reason I know that he's responding is because Baller Alert went and did screenshots of everything and then made a whole post out of it. Like, you're fighting a war you cannot win, friend. Stop. I'm going to go ahead and guess, just from the little bit that I do know about business and deals and things of that nature, that they probably shopped Versus because it's a distribution deal essentially. But they probably went and shopped it to all the major platforms because people are like, why didn't you go to Facebook? Why didn't you go to Instagram? Why didn't you go to this platform? Why didn't you go to that? I'm going to go ahead and imagine that they did. And whatever the terms that the other people offered, if they offered terms at all, if they were even interested, because Versus was very much a pandemic phenomenon. And I think it could have rode hard post pandemic. But the last reiterations of it, people didn't really love. And now it's been gone so long and people are outside again. So it's like when I couldn't go outside and the only way I could really react and go to concerts, if you will, was to turn into Verses. But now I can actually go and see the people live. Watching it on your screen is much cheaper than going to the show. But if I have the option and the coin, I'm going to the show. And also, if I can go outside and do something versus sit in the house and watch the screen and it's summer, I'm going outside. But that's me. Some other people might be like, no, I like to be inside, which there's nothing wrong with. I don't know, like the brand viability of Versus at this time. It all really depends on who they put on the stage. Like you put some randoms up there as a Versus. I'm like, yeah. But I imagine they took the best deal. I imagine for the folks that were interested, they offered terms and they were probably like, no, we don't want that. They wanted a chunk of the business. They wanted some ownership. And Elon Musk and X were like, yeah, like we'll do the distribution.
and you can keep it. You got 100% ownership. I'm not going to get in your shit. And they were probably like, yeah, like the money's right and we get the ownership. We'll take the deal. I mean, you get a benefit from the deal. So, like, it makes sense that you're happy about it. But for people who are not, people who would watch it on whatever platform it's on are kind of like I said, why'd you get in bed with the racists? And then announce it on Juneteenth. I think if they waited, not before Juneteenth, but they waited like a week just to let people get Juneteenth celebrations out of their system, they probably would have had an easier road with this one. Timing is everything. I guess they were excited and wanted to say something. And they're like, oh, we're at Cannes with all the fancy people and the press is watching. Let's make an announcement. It's Timberland and Swizz. The press is going to pick it up either way. So, yeah, I won't be in his DMs right now. I think he's a little busy putting out fires, mini fires. But I wish them the best on Verzuz. I'm not the biggest fan of X. I still have it on my phone. But if you do a Verzuz with some people I want to see, I'll tune in. And so will everybody else bitching about it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is. Their art collection was really dope. They spent money. They have all the big black names in there, like past and present. There was a lot of really great art. A lot of people that have their own exhibitions that I've been to over the last couple years. So like the famous, fancy, celebrated people that are really expensive right now, they have those. They had a bunch of stuff from Jamal Shabazz, Gordon Parks, basically the same photographer a couple decades apart. I was like, how much are Gordon Parks or Jamal Shabazz prints? Like, can I afford one? Like, they had 10 and 20 of each, but I was like, what about one? Can I get one? For the culture. But they have a whole mission. They were just like, everybody loves black culture. And a lot of people who purchase black artists aren't always black. So they had a strong emphasis on owning the culture. And so they went and bought up a bunch of black art to preserve it, but also to support black artists. But if you get a chance, I think the exhibition is open until mid-July. I think the exhibition was $20, $25. It was worth it, I thought. There's also a display. It's not getting as much attention. There's an artist. I don't have my phone in front of me. I can't remember her name. She's a black woman. She went viral on Instagram a couple years ago. She is a plus size, brown skin, dark skin, black woman who takes pictures naked all over New York, particularly in places that were former slave sites. So, like Wall Street in downtown Manhattan used to be a huge slave market. She's got some pictures from Seneca Village, aka currently Central Park. Seneca Village was the big black enclave, wealthy black enclave, and the city decided to raise it because they wanted to have a park for rich white people to play in. Where better to put our park than where the black people are thriving? Two birds with one stone. But her point is to highlight, like everyone always talks about, like slavery in the South, and people would flee to the North for freedom. I mean, eventually, like the North did outlaw slavery before the South did. The ownership of slaves was very, very popular in the North, including what we now think of as the liberal bastion of New York, which really is just New York City. Once you get outside of the boroughs, it stops being so liberal. It's kind of like Atlanta. Like once you get out of Atlanta, you're very much in Georgia. Houston and Dallas, once you get outside of those, you're very much in Texas. The point is, she's making the point that New York was as racist and as slave owning as everybody else. And here are the sites that you can visit. And look at my naked black ass while you do. I think her nakedness is about the sale of black bodies and then the exhibition of black women's bodies. There's a whole bunch of stuff tied up in there. But if you go to the Brooklyn Museum to see Swizz and Alicia, you should head up to the fourth floor to check that out as well. Like I read a bunch. I lived in New York City for damn near 20 years. Like I know a lot about the history of the city, but even just reading the captions for her photos, I was like, wait, what? Like you think you know a bunch and then be like, oh wow, I didn't know that. Definitely worthwhile. What else did I do? I told you about dinner with Bevy on actual Juneteenth. I went to see Swizz and Alicia that morning. Then I had to run some errands in the city. I was supposed to go back to Brooklyn that night, Prospect Park. I actually got on the subway and went out there. And then when I got off the train, my friend hit me and was like, oh, we left. We're at some bar in Flatbush. I'm gonna come get you. So I was like, all right. So I spent my Juneteenth hanging out at this bar in Flatbush, drinking fruit punch. It was fun times. It was good to be back in Brooklyn. I wish I had a chance to stay longer, but I really wanted to get back to Maryland. Plus, there's a heat wave. The heat wave hit on Thursday, and I was like, oh no, just walking around New York in heat? Absolutely not. I went to the Met in the morning. My cousin came and met me. I wanted to see the Sleeping Beauties, the fashion exhibit, the Met Gala. Like everyone looks at the fashion, but it's also to raise money to support this fashion exhibition. And so obviously the theme, the same as the Met Gala, was Sleeping Beauties. So I went to see that. I got there right when the museum was opening. There was this long ass line to get in to go through security. And then once I got to the exhibit, you have to register to stand in the line. And I was like, are you kidding me? So it was another 20 minutes before I could actually just get in line to go into the exhibit. But there's an exhibition about the Harlem Renaissance that's literally around the corner. So while I was waiting to stand in line, I went to see the Harlem Renaissance exhibition. I went to see the Harlem Renaissance exhibition. That was really good too. Art, photographs. They had, I've never gone to a museum and thought about stealing anything before. And you know, I'm a nerd, so you can guess what this is over. They had an original first edition of Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God. It's like a gold foil cover. I was like, yo, if I break this glass with the buckle on my Louis bag, do you think I could make it out the museum and down Fifth Avenue? What are my odds here? Is anyone really coming after me? And if they do, how much time would I serve? Would it be a fine? An original, a first edition of Their Eyes Were Watching God. Like, I was like, I literally gasped. Just like my mom when she was like, was that Jill Scott's husband? I was like, and people turned around like they thought I was choking or some shit. And I was like, oh, my bad. First edition of Their Eyes Were Watching God. It's one of the best books ever written. Like, I'm obsessed with Zora Neale Hurston. I watched a documentary on her when I was flying back from South Africa. It was 15 hours on a flight. Like, I was just watching all sorts of stuff. But they had a whole documentary on Zora Neale Hurston, which was fascinating. She didn't really become an author until she was like in her late 40s. She also, when she went to Howard, she was pretending that she was like 18 or 22, and she was like a whole like 30 something. She had a really hard life. Like her dad kicked her out when she was a teenager. Fascinating woman. But yeah, again, first edition with gold foil. I've seen tons of Harlem Renaissance exhibitions. I think what made this one stand out was the international influence of the Harlem Renaissance. They talked about all the black artists from Harlem who went over to Europe for various reasons. I mean, one of them being Josephine Baker, but also actual, like, painters and writers and other creatives. And they talked about the influence of these Harlem Renaissance artists in Europe and how that impacted the culture and how European artists were drawn to the culture of African Americans and how they started to use African American culture or depict African American people in their work. It was really good. And then after the exhibition, me and my cousin went down to Avra, which is one of my favorite restaurants in LA. I had completely forgotten there was one in New York. I've only been to it like once before, but I went and got my favorite LA meal in New York. We actually sat outside and the waiter was like plying us with ice water. But I got to eat zucchini chips and like Avra has like the best octopus ever, ever. So I had that. And then also had baklava. It wasn't as good as the Greek place at the wharf, but it was good. And then after that, like, it was just too damn hot. My cousin had to go to an audition. And so I took the train back to my hotel and I just like hung out until my train was ready to leave. And my train, because of like the heat, was like severely delayed. We were supposed to leave at 6:45. We didn't leave until 9 o'clock. So I didn't get back to the train station until like 1 in the morning. Not ideal, but such is life.
I know that none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities are still 100% visible to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Without ExpressVPN, these third parties can still see every website you visit, even in incognito mode. That means your internet service provider, that means your mobile network provider, and the admins of your Wi-Fi network, whether that's your school, your boss, your parents. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers, so third parties can't see your browsing history. ExpressVPN works on all your devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go. And it's rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I've used ExpressVPN for years and I love how easy it is to use. Just fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. So simple. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. Hey y'all, let me put you on to something real quick. I've got something you need to check out. You ever heard of the BLK app? That's BLK, not black, the BLK app. If not, you're missing out. So, check it. BLK is the largest dating and lifestyle app made specifically for the black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, no. BLK switched things up. Sure, you can find your boo, that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking to just make friends, network, group chat with folks based on shared interests, or find out about events happening near you, BLK's got all that too. The app's been around for almost 7 years now, and over 11 million people have downloaded it. Crazy! That's like the populations of New York City and LA combined. If you've downloaded the app before and deleted it, re-download it because they've introduced a bunch of new features. And it's new people to meet on there. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Yep, free. All right, I did my good deed for the day by putting you on. So go download BLK today in the App Store or on Google Play. It's free, it's fun, it's for us. Check it out and let me know what you think.
Because I was out on Juneteenth, I missed that Kendrick Lamar had done a concert. Like I was running all over the city all day and I had some errands and I just wasn't on my phone like that. So I didn't get the announcement, the email, whatever everybody else saw that they knew to tune into Amazon. It wasn't until the next morning when everybody was like, Kendrick, 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 Kendrick. And I was like, wait, what happened? And then I was like, oh, okay. Like he did like a whole pop up concert, the pop out on Juneteenth. I watched a little bit of it on the train last night. For people who missed it, apparently it's not on Amazon. I didn't even bother looking on Amazon. There's a full 4.5 hour concert on YouTube. Just literally go on YouTube and type in Kendrick the pop out, and they have the whole concert. I didn't watch the whole thing. I really just tuned in to watch Kendrick because I'm a huge Kendrick fan. Like I went to Rwanda to see Kendrick because like I love Kendrick Lamar. But I watched his portion. It was dope as fuck, which I totally expected because it's Kendrick. He put on a hell of a show in Rwanda. That's the first time I think. Oh, that's not the first time I see. That's the first time I saw him live in concert. I saw him perform at the BET Awards. Remember when he performed on top of a cop car? I was in the audience for that one. I don't remember what year that was. I was with my cousin then too. Same cousin. She was my +1 for that. Kendrick's concert. I think calling it a concert is almost like a misnomer. It was more coronation than concert. Watching his performance from Juneteenth, I was like, oh, okay, he's officially declared himself. I don't know if it's King of the West on some like Ned Stark type shit. I mean, I know Ned was North, but stay with me. I was like, is he declaring himself king of the region, like king of West America? Or did he just declare himself king of the realm, as in like all of hip hop? Also, it was really important for me to watch because I kept seeing all these reports about how many different times he did not like us. Some places were like, oh, he did it 4 times. And then other places were reporting, and like all legitimate sites were like, he performed not like us 6 times. And I was like, he did what now? I watched the concert, which I thought was from start to finish. Maybe there was parts that got cut off. I saw 4 times. I don't know where people are getting 6 from. I would love to know that. Not that I need to see it more than 4 times. Like he did it once and then the whole crowd gets the A minor. And I was like, okay, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. And then he started over again. He didn't really rap the second time around. Like the crowd was doing all the lyrics. And he has very intricate lyrics. But the crowd was doing all the heavy lifting on that. He brought out Dre to introduce the song. And I was like, now Dre is doing the rap. Like the entire West Coast has united. I mean, I think against Drake, yes. But also, Drake is now the face of colonizers. I was like, how did another black person become the face of colonization? It's interesting. I was on Facebook last night and I was talking about, and I was like, this is not the right time. And I'm not going to talk about it extensively here either because people are still on their Juneteenth high. Timing, like I said with Swizz, is everything. But I was like, at some point, we need to have a conversation about how Black people, Black American people specifically, weaponize Black culture and the way we other Black people. And also, this part too, the way we have decided that Black American culture is definitive Blackness and nobody else's Blackness is equivalent or matters as much. And not just to us. Of course, you put your culture on top tier. Like, I don't object to that. Everyone does that, right? But the idea that other cultures, and cultures of Black people no less, should bend to our version, our interpretation, our definitions of Blackness, which is completely narcissistic and insane, but we do it nonetheless. But this is not the time to have that conversation. But I just thought about it watching Kendrick and this audience. I think I read it was 11,000 people calling this guy a colonizer. And I was like, is he a colonizer? It's just a conversation worth having, I think. After watching thousands of people essentially virtue signal to each other that we are like us. And the way that you do that is othering someone else to say you're not like us. I don't want to compare it to what it should be compared to. It's a real obvious comparison, but it's a bit xenophobic. They also call the man a pedophile. Like the A minor thing, thousands of people chanting in unison about you being a pedophile. If I was Drake, I'd be like, you know what? I don't need your money and I don't need this shit. I got enough money. I'm packing up my shit. He needs to go to a country with brown people and grow out his hair and walk around in Birkenstocks. That was my suggestion for Jonathan Majors. I was like, stop talking, go overseas, look like you're on a spiritual journey, and then return to us. If I were Drake, that's what I would do, especially after that concert. But Drake's not going to do that because it wouldn't be Drake if he did. Speaking of Jonathan Majors, he's working again. I saw that he got picked up for a film role. I think he's in a thriller. Hold on. Jonathan Majors. He got dropped from all the roles that he had before. All right, I'm reading this on Deadline. Jonathan Majors to star in supernatural revenge thriller Merciless. Okay. Merciless follows a top CIA interrogator who, after the woman he loves is overtaken by a malevolent force, is forced to go even darker to defeat it. Who wrote this? Two forced back to back? Where's your editor? The film will mark Major's first role since his third-degree assault and harassment conviction earlier this year. I don't know. Is this good? Is this bad? Just based on the description, I don't really have an interest in it. I don't know if I'm ready to see him on camera yet. I wouldn't necessarily go to watch a movie, either go to the theater or turn it on one of the streamers because he's in it. But if he's in it and he gets good reviews, or he's in it and I like the trailer, I think I would watch. Where are you with Jonathan Majors? Like, are you ready to see him on film? Do you want to see him on film? Does him being in a film make you want to see it or make you be like, nah, I'm good? Um, there was something else I wanted to say about the Kendrick concert. Who was he channeling in his clothes? Because I've seen two different takes on it. Like someone pointed out, I think it was Billboard maybe, and they were like, "Oh, he's channeling Tupac," and they posted a picture of Tupac in a red shirt and jeans, and I was like, oh, "Okay, like Tupac is a West Coast icon. Like I get it." But then I also saw another site. I think my friend had sent me this. It was comparing Drake's Hotline Bling video where he has on a red hoodie with a white shirt underneath and jeans, which is precisely what Kendrick had on. And they were saying that Kendrick is channeling Drake in Hotline Bling while he clowns Drake either 4 times or 6 times in a row with this diss song. And I was like, I think either an interesting interpretation. I was like, I wish somebody could just ask Kendrick, like, which one was it? Because we confused. We trying to pull something together for a story and we not really sure. I was like, somebody DM Kendrick and ask him. Either one is properly petty. We do know Kendrick is very petty. Very, very petty. And does his research. Oh, last point. Kendrick uniting the gangs of LA on stage. People are really excited about that. Do you know how many times, just in my lifetime, that the gangs have all come together. We're all in the same gang. The gangs have come together for a truce, moments of peace, and everyone gets really excited. And the same bullshit pops off. Like it's like a cycle. It was a cute moment watching the guys dance together on stage. Like the black boy joy of it all made me happy to see. Somebody had video. I don't know whose page I saw it on, but it was zoomed in of like there were two pairs of men, assuming heterosexual men. And I only point this out because we usually don't see this kind of display of affection or intimacy between American men in this way. But they were holding hands and dancing. God, where did I see this? Somebody was like, look at the men on some my nigga, may I have this dance? Nigga, would you like to be married with me? So stupid. But the men were dancing and they were very happy and they were very cute. And their nice unity photo on Juneteenth, no less, was a nice cultural moment. I hope the truce between the gangs lasts. It won't. We know it won't, but I hope that it does.
Want a more youthful look by addressing volume loss in the cheeks? With Juvederm Voluma XC, you can get smooth, long-lasting, natural-looking results for lift and contour in the cheeks that last up to 2 years with optimal treatment. For important safety information and to find a licensed specialist, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you. Curious about how you can achieve smooth, natural looking, long lasting filler results? The Juvederm collection of fillers has 6 unique gel fillers that add subtle volume and are designed for different needs in specific areas of the face, like lips, cheeks, chin, smile lines, under eyes, and jawline. Ask your licensed specialist for a full face assessment today and download the Ally app. That's ALLE, the official loyalty program of Juvederm, to save on treatments and get a look that's true to you. For important safety information and to find licensed specialists, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you.
What else do we have on our list? There's a lot of stuff in music this week. Justin Timberlake. I think Justin Timberlake being arrested actually does count somehow as good black news. Black people been celebrating it. Like I realized black people didn't like him because of Janet and then also Britney. Black people feel very strongly about Britney Spears. But I realized people didn't like him. I didn't realize people like really didn't fuck with him to the point that people celebrate when you get arrested for a DWI. But Justin Timberlake was driving around Sag Harbor, which I was like, isn't that like the black part of the Hamptons? I'm reading this on People, which has his mugshot. His eyes look glassy in the mugshot. And I was like, bro, you was drunk. He got pulled over. The police report said an officer saw Timberlake's 2025 BMW drive through a stop sign and the car was failing to keep on the right side of the road. When he pulled Timberlake over, he said, quote, the singer's eyes were bloodshot and glassy. He was arrested. He was taken to Sag Harbor Police Headquarters to be processed. And there he refused multiple times to take a chemical test, according to the report. He told the officer, he said, quote, I had one martini and I followed my friends home. Friend, friend. You don't be fucked up like that where you can't stay in your lane and your eyes get glassy off one martini. You had a few. You had a few of something. Or maybe you took some other substances. I don't know. But I was like, that's more than one martini. I understand that's what you told the officer trying to get out of an arrest, but you know. I also saw reports, this isn't on People. The officer who pulled over Justin Timberlake was young and had no clue who he was or who NSYNC was or any of that. And Justin, he didn't say, "Don't you know who I am?" But he said something like, "This is going to ruin the tour." And the officer said, "What tour?" He just clueless, unbothered, and did not care. And did not know to care who Justin Timberlake was. Oh dear. I bet he would have recognized Britney Spears or Janet Jackson. People says that Timberlake was held overnight and arraigned the next morning. He is due back in court on July 26th. Sir. I'm like, why don't you have a driver? And look, if you were following your friends home and you're fucked up, I mean, are your friends all that fucked up too? Nobody was like, oh, let me drive Justin's car to make sure we're good. No? You're Justin Timberlake. I'm sure you picked up the check for dinner. And I was like, nobody made sure you were straight to drive, friend? No? No. That's unfortunate. But the tour is continuing. How is this tour doing? I know a bunch of people who loved NSYNC and a bunch of people who loved Justin Timberlake's first album when he was still cosplaying as black. I loved Justin Timberlake's music back then. I don't know anybody who said they bought tickets to his tour. I haven't heard that it's underperforming. People talked a lot about how J-Lo wasn't moving tickets and her concert wasn't selling. I didn't hear that about Justin Timberlake. I assumed it was selling. That I was like, bruh, what's going on in your life that you just stressed out? That you get DWIs, you can't drive between the lines. Sir, I don't particularly like him, even though I like his single, Selfish. I think we talked about that on here, and I was like, I love the song, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to like promote Justin Timberlake. I don't particularly care for him, but the song is good. I added it to the Usher playlist. I'm not making a whole separate playlist just for Justin Timberlake, but it kind of flows with Usher's new music, so I just put it in there at the very end. I put some other stuff in there too. Speaking of Usher, we have so much music news this week. Your boy came to DC. This was last week before I left. I was walking through the living room, and I guess my dad was watching MSNBC, and I stopped in my tracks when Usher came on the screen. You know how I feel about Usher. Everyone knows how I feel about Usher. But like, he looked phenomenally good. He was on Capitol Hill raising awareness for diabetes. Let me pull this up. I'm reading this on the Hill. Usher brings diabetes awareness and swagger. This is the headline to the Capitol. This is on June 12th. This is a while ago. But he looks so good. We have to talk about it. Who wrote this article? Who wrote this? Judy Kurtz and Michael Schnell. Schnell. Those don't sound like black people, but this is the opening line of the article. Spotted. Usher attempting to make Congress say yeah to diabetes awareness and screenings. The Love in This Club singer was eyed bringing his signature swagger to the Senate on Wednesday. Usher sported a tan suit and a pair of shades while in the Senate subway. Usher went to meet with Senator Raphael Warnock, Reverend Warnock, who represents Georgia, to discuss diabetes and insulin, not Ozempic. I think Usher's son, one of his sons, has type 1 diabetes. So he wanted to bring awareness about type 1 diabetes and early screening for it as well. He told reporters he had, quote, a great time in DC. I bet you did with your fine self. He has on, I'm looking at the picture right now. This man is such a goddamn rock star. He's walking around indoors in the Senate, in the Capitol. He has on this tan suit. Just calling it a tan suit, I'm gonna have to post this picture so you can see it. He just looks so damn good. It's like Marvin Gaye in his prime. Like he's got on sunglasses indoors. He's got on a proper tan suit. And then he has on, let's call it a beige. It's more like light tan. So a dark tan suit and then like a light tan, I'm gonna call it a wife beater because of the cut of it. But it ain't no like Target wife beater. It's like it's giving cashmere. It's giving luxury. Like the fabric just sits on his body so beautifully. Who made this suit? That ain't no off the rack. He just looks so good. He was also in a tan suit. I saw pictures of that in Milan. It's Men's Fashion Week, or it was Men's Fashion Week. It was Milan Fashion Week, and then it went straight into Paris Fashion Week. I haven't seen pictures of him in Paris, but he also had on a tan suit in Milan, and I was like, yes, whoever's putting him in these tan suits, it's not like the Obama tan suit on Easter. This is much, much different. I was like, whoever decided to put Usher's tan body in these tan suits, raise, raise. Whoever's on styling, raise. Give them a raise. I like all that I see. All that I see looks very good. In other music news, we talked about Ashanti and Nelly last week. Ashanti went and talked to Entertainment Tonight. She gave details, just a few, about her and Nelly's engagement and how he proposed. You know that mofo's been married since December? People went and obtained documents. I mean, and people by like, People magazine, not just like random mofos. People went and obtained the documents that showed Ashanti and Nelly been married since late December, which I'm not mad at. I wish they had said something just because every time Ashanti posts or every time somebody posts a picture of Ashanti being pregnant, everybody's like, where's the ring? Where's the ring? She waited all this time to get pregnant. She circled the block to get back with him, and he's still not making her an honest woman. Ashanti's going to be a single mother. Ashanti's going to be a baby mama. Where's the ring? Where's the ring? Where's the ring? It's been around since December, y'all. It's been around for a good 6 months. People really were screaming hard body about, oh, she's going to be a single mom. Oh, she's going to be a baby mama. As if, one, Ashanti couldn't afford that baby. The respectability politics that y'all play into will not save you. She's going to be a baby mama. And, well, now it turns out that she won't. What now? What now? Nothing. Nothing changes. That baby will be loved and well provided for no matter what. Is there other news? There is. I have something on here, Bay. I can't read what I wrote. My handwriting's atrocious. Was it about Beyonce not making a Juneteenth announcement? I literally have on here Beehive, and I don't know why. I thought Beyonce was going to make some big Juneteenth announcement. I was convinced she was going to announce she was headed to the Sphere in Vegas, or she was going on tour. I really thought an announcement was coming. I still think an announcement's coming, but clearly it's not coming on Juneteenth because that is come and gone. Womp womp. I have on this list. Do I want to talk about this? There's really nothing more that I have to add other than like what's just circulating in the media. Iman Shumpert and Tiana Taylor are divorcing. Iman seems to be showing his whole black ass in this divorce. This man made $40 million, 40 million American USD dollars in dineros during his NBA career. And he's no longer in the NBA. I think his only reoccurring acting role is on The Shy. I'm sure he gets good coin, but it's not NBA coin. Okay. He wants his wife, because Tiana's like got a bunch of shit going on. Like she's popping right now. She makes about 90,000 American USD dollars in dineros per month. He wants his wife to pay him alimony. Nigga. Nigga. Are you serious right now? He also bought Tiana a condo. She talked about the condo when I interviewed them. I think it was an anniversary present. Either way, it was a gift, and she's had it for, I'd say, minimum 5 years, maybe closer to 7 or 8. But she's had it for a long time. He wants her to give his condo back. His condo, quote unquote, his. I was like, you bought it for your wife. I understand y'all are getting divorced, but I was like, it was a gift for your wife, and now you want it back? And he said he wants the jewelry back, and he said he wants alimony. And I was like, oh, this nigga petty as fuck. This is why she divorcing his ass. She said part of the reason she was divorcing him was because basically he fell off, her shit was popping, and he was jealous and couldn't deal with her fame. He's acting like everything she accused him to be. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're getting out, sis. Sorry it's an uphill battle, but this too shall pass. Y'all won't be at odds forever. It's just such chaos and turmoil. I say this every single time we talk about people going through a divorce. I don't wish it on my worst enemy, especially with kids involved. Like, ugh, sad, 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 sad. All right, that's the episode for the day. I just can't get through everything right now. I just need a down day to pull all my notes together. All right, that's the episode for this week. We'll be back on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Hope you had a great Juneteenth, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye. Want a more youthful look by addressing volume loss in the cheeks? With Juvederm Voluma XC, you can get smooth, long-lasting, natural-looking results for lift and contour in the cheeks that last up to 2 years with optimal treatment.
For important safety information and to find a licensed specialist, visit juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you.